Hi everyone, my name is Katie and I'm a volunteer coordinator and naturalist at the Outdoor Campus West. Today I'm going to show you a recipe on some Kickin Elk Fajitas. This recipe is super simple, it's very tasty, and it's a great way to introduce any type of venison into your diet. And this recipe also makes for a great Cinco de Mayo meal, so hope you enjoy. So for today's recipe, the ingredients that you will need include some Worcestershire sauce, some orange juice, some lime juice as well as a fresh lime, kosher salt, some canola oil, some queso fresco, some tortillas, cilantro, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to use 2 or 3 elk steaks today, but you can adjust that on your preference. A red onion, a jalapeno pepper, some chili powder and cumin, and then 2 bell peppers. Okay, so step number 1 would be to put your elk steaks in between 2 sheets of plastic wrap, and then use a meat tenderizer to pound it or tenderize it until it's roughly a ½ an inch thick, just as I have done. So you can see that thickness there. So that's step 1. Okay, so step number 2 would be to go ahead and prepare your marinade. So for your marinade, you're going to need 1 cup of orange juice, ½ a cup of lime juice, 1 tablespoon Worcestershire, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic that are minced. Then you're going to take 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, then a ½ a teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/4 cup of cilantro, and I'm going to put most of it in but leave a little bit of it out to garnish at the end. And then you're going to whisk it together. And as you're whisking pretty briskly, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of canola oil slowly. So step 3 would be to cut up all your vegetables or your onions and peppers. So you can see that I cut my onions and peppers roughly a 1/4 inch thick, and then I also seeded and sliced my jalapeno pepper. So step number 4 is to actually marinate our veggies and our steaks. So you're going to use 2 Ziploc bags, and in one bag you're going to put your elk steaks in, and you're going to pour ½ of the marinade in that. And then on the other bag, you're going to put all your sliced veggies in, and you're going to put the rest of the marinade that you made in that bag. And then when you close these bags, make sure that you try and get all the air out so that you can seal in and lock in all that flavor. And then we're going to put these in the fridge to marinate for up to 4 hours. So now when you are ready to cook, you are going to take your elk steaks out of the fridge, and you are going to go and grab 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and you're going to put that in a large skillet or cast iron, and you're going to heat that oil on medium-high heat. So we'll go ahead and wait for that to warm up. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and transfer our elk steaks that are marinated onto the cast iron skillet, and I'm going to sear them. Just so they turn brown on each side before I go ahead and flip them over. Okay, so now we have transferred our elk steaks from the skillet onto a cutting board, and as I did that, I cut them kind of against the grain, just to make sure, you know, that they are cooked good enough. When you're searing them on the skillet, you want to brown them on each side, and then also kind of take a peek at them because you want to cook the elk until it is medium rare. Okay, so now we are going to cook our peppers and our onions. Before you put your veggies into the skillet, you're going to want to reserve about 1 to 2 tablespoons of the marinade that came from the vegetable bag. So now we're going to go ahead and transfer Okay, so now that our veggies are soft and a little bit charred, I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of that little marinade that I took from the baggie, and I'm going to pour it in. And then I'm going to remove it from the heat, take it off the heat, and let them cool down just a bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and add my elk steak into the fajita veggie mixture. And I'm just going to toss it so that it mixes with the juices from the marinade and the veggies. So the last step of the recipe is to, of course, serve them up. So I served my elk fajitas on some warm tortillas. I added some queso fresco, and then I also added some of that chopped cilantro that we had used from earlier in the marinade. So this is the finished recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.